recover?
Well, the goal, you remember the Asian tigers, right? Let me give specific examples. They used to go to the IMF. They put their house together as middle income, now emerging. Some of them have become advanced countries. And they improved their revenue collection and other mechanisms.
So going to the IMF is not necessarily a bad thing?
No, because it's not. Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
And let me give you a second example quickly.
The reason why I'm just raising it is there's a negative perception about it, and people prefer that we are not under an IMF program. Our Ghanaians prefer that the country is not.
Well, then we should put our house in order. But remember, let me go to the global financial crisis. You remember the peaks? Portugal, Ireland, Greece, Spain. These were advanced countries. They never dreamt of going back to the IMF. The last time many of those countries went to the IMF was during the Second World War. So many of them, which gave rise to the IMF and the World Bank and all those. But what did they do? Within a year and a half to 2 years, they had paid their loan. They had put their house in order, and they exited. Right? So for developing countries, the difficulty is that when you are in a situation like, for example, let me give a specific example. The IMF is sponsoring under COVID a debt suspension program, right? Is it better? The question we should ask ourselves is it better than the zero coupon that we did? Right? Because the zero coupon, one, we are borrowing 500, we get only 400. We discounted the money. So we are not getting the whole of the 500, right? That's one. We are going to pay in a bullet one time, the whole of the 500 plus in 2025 by a new government, maybe, right? So what do you put in place? If we had gone to the fund, maybe under the debt suspension, yes, there would have been things that say, okay, you are coming for this money. What are you going to do right? That's always a question. And those are the things that become the conditionalities, right? So if you don't manage well, and so if we are pushed, that may be the last resort, because the only lenders to developing countries that are in trouble, who do not have their own buffers, their own sinking funds and the rest, is the IMF and the World Bank, supported by the African Development Bank. And that's how come you end up there. So it's a matter of you managing, your house well. So if institutions and others, unions don't want us to go to the IMF, then we should work as a nation, in making sure that we have policies. And that's again where we go back to sinking fund and the rest. We saw it, the evidence is there. When we started putting those things in place, the debt rate of borrowing was going down. Our yields, there's another graph, if we have to put it down, you see the interest rate, the treasury bill rate started going down also.